This preseason game has now set the new ticket price high for anything that Caitlin Clark, any game she has played in.
We saw the Caitlin Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans.
People were willing to pay up to see Caitlin Clark.
They clearly have a big three, right? It's Caitlin, number first and foremost one, and then Aaliyah Boston, and then Kelsey Mitchell. And like, so those are your stars. That's the core of your route.
Every basketball fan is stunned by what happened in Iowa, and every ticket broker is rushing.
Average paid price of $440 per ticket.
Not only did Caitlin Clark shatter records on the court, but she also broke her own record off it, driving up ticket costs for the Indiana Fever. Fans recently made history by spending their money more quickly than ever before. Happened in Iowa, and every ticket broker is rushing.
Somebody moves the needle when people are willing to pay ginormous amount of money. Is that a word? A massive amount of money to see Caitlin Clark play ball.
To observe Clark's return to her native land, we're not referring to a championship final or a playoff game. This preseason showdown is currently fetching more money than anything we've ever seen in her professional or college career. However, it doesn't end there. Clark is at the forefront of the Indiana Fever's daring new strategy, which is being implemented behind the scenes to take over the WNBA.
The WNBA saw a boom like we have never seen. We saw Caitlin Clark come into the league. We saw the Caitlin Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans who flooded to the WNBA, and many of those were there for Caitlin Clark.
Stay tuned, because what we're going to reveal will make it clear why every arena is becoming Caitlin Clark territory. If you're a fan of Caitlin Clark and would like to encourage her, leave a comment like novice.
Caitlin Clark, in that, has become arguably the most influential basketball player in the world, both on the men's and the women's side.
Caitlin Clark just performed something that nobody could have predicted. She set a new record for the highest average ticket price ever for a game in which she participated, and it wasn't even a regular season nail-biter or a WNBA playoff game. The Indiana Fever and the Brazilian national team played a preseason exhibition game at Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa. Clark earned her name a household name in the same court. Fans spent an astounding $440 on average for a ticket to this matchup.
Iowa's Carver Hawkeye Arena is the most in-demand event involving Clark, with a quote average paid price of $440 per ticket.
That surpasses her previous record of $400, which was set on March 3rd, 2024, when she passed the great Pete Maravich for the all-time NCAA Division I scoring record versus Ohio State after dropping 35 points. Let's consider this in context. On the secondary market, tickets for this one preseason game ranged from $146 at the low end to an astounding $368 at the high end. In case you were wondering how quickly the tickets went, the arena sold out in just 15 minutes. That is quicker than the majority of A-list concerts. We're discussing an occasion where supporters were willing to pay extravagant fees simply to be inside the structure with Caitlin Clark.
She takes over, she maestros, she controls game after game after game with her passing and her carefully chosen spots to score.
However, this goes beyond a single game or instance. The fact that this record-breaking ticket spike occurred during Clark's second year rather than her debut season just serves to highlight how incredible this is, and shows that the desire to see her isn't simply surviving her rookie hoopla, but is actually increasing.
Yeah, I mean, that was like my biggest focus in the offseason, is just trying to get stronger and really working on that. And really thankful for Sarah, our strength and conditioning coach, like put in a lot of time with me, and we were in here consistently. Like, I think that was the biggest thing for myself, is just having that consistency to be able to work on it for 6 months or whatever it was. So I certainly feel a lot stronger, and you know, I'm a pretty self-aware person. I knew that was going to be a huge part of it, and you know, it's going to help me offensively, it's going to help me defensively, it's going to help me not get as tired throughout games. So yeah, definitely one of the focus points of my off season is just getting stronger, and you know, even through these 2 practices, like I can certainly feel it.
Fans in Clark's hometown experienced an emotional surge upon her homecoming to Iowa, which also triggered a national frenzy. This is the highest average ticket price ever for any game featuring Caitlin Clark, whether it be a collegiate or professional game, according to AP reporting. In such a short period of time, no basketball player, male or female, has established ticket records in both professional and NCO venues. It's not hype, it's history, and the season has already begun to smash records both on and off the court. Caitlin Clark's actions go far beyond simply shattering records for preseason game ticket prices. She is genuinely rewriting the WNBA's overall finances as well as that of the Indiana Fever Club.
The average paid price for a Fever away game in 2025 was $272, up from $171 in 2024. The average is $197 for a Fever home game, more than double the $92 from last season.
Let's begin with some hard data. The average cost of tickets for Indiana Fever games has skyrocketed since Clark's arrival. For away games in the 2025 season, supporters will spend an average of $272, up from $171 the season before. That is a 59% increase from one year to the next. That is essentially unheard of in professional sports. It's even more astounding at home. The average ticket price for the Fever's home games has more than doubled, soaring from $92 to $197. It's more than a little bump. That is transformative. Additionally, it solidifies Caitlin Clark as perhaps the most valuable player in her league's box office history. However, the Caitlin Clark effect is ingrained in the Indiana Fever's current operations and goes beyond ticket stubs. Management didn't simply sit back and hope Clark would lead the team on his own. They made every effort to rebuild the roster around her in order to optimize appeal and performance. During the offseason, the Fever's front management made a number of audacious decisions that delivered a single unambiguous message. We're in win now mode and not waiting around. They introduced Sophie Cunningham first.
Sophie Cunningham is pumped to play with Caitlin Clark, even comparing her new teammate to a WNBA legend.
A seasoned guard who contributed more than just veteran expertise, she offered a strong defense of Clark's strategy.
I think anytime you play with the GOAT of our team, or the GOAT of our game, you're going to learn a lot. You know, you have to be ready for the ball, head on a swivel at all times, and the way that she throws the ball is a lot how DT threw it. I think this is just the younger version of her, so she has a little bit more energy, a little bit more spunk. I miss DT in her prime, but doesn't mean she wasn't great when I played with her. But honestly, at the end of the day, everybody can shoot, right? If you're cutting and you're open, you're going to get the ball, and so you just have to be ready for that. And I'm excited for that. And I think you'll see 1 through 5 is interchangeable. And so you'll see the 5 read the ball down. So it's going to be a little different for other teams to play defense against us as well.
Cunningham, who previously played for the Phoenix Mercury for 6 seasons, immediately likened Caitlin Clark to Diana Taurasi, who is regarded as the best player in WNBA history. According to Cunningham, Clark reminded her of a younger Taurasi, with his razor-sharp dynamics and constant threat to deliver the ball with strength and originality. It's not light praise coming from a player who shared a court with the GOAT. She underlined how Taurasi's skill at finding teammates and making accurate passes is similar to Clark's, albeit with a little more youthful vigor and sprite. Not only that, but the Fever strengthened their roster by adding Dana Bonner and other veterans.
How she felt the team was gelling and how she felt about the addition of DeWanna Bonner. She basically said that when she talks, people listen, and she kind of wants to win it all for her. Here it is.
DB's been tremendous, and obviously, not only as a leader, she's a tremendous basketball player too. She's won championships. She knows what it is. So when she speaks, everybody listens. So I think that was the piece of the thing we were missing last year. It's we didn't really have that inside of our locker room. So just really grateful for that, and just the way she talks and she leads. For me as a second-year point guard, I want to win for her. This is the end of her career. She deserved it.
One of the few players who truly succeeded in protecting Caitlin Clark last season, this defender has a lot of experience. They included Brianna Turner in addition to Bonner. Short up their core with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard.
Everything is just absolutely new. It feels really good. It feels fresh. It's kind of like when you take a clothes out the dryer, kind of like fresh. It feels different. It feels good because we have new leadership, we got new players, we got vet leadership, and so I think all that combined just makes for a good atmosphere. It feels good.
How does that help you guys elevate even more for the players who are returning?
It makes it easier. I remember this time last year, it didn't feel good. So we have to get that in order for people to start playing well. It's like the domino thing. But I think once your culture is kind of established, how you guys see it now, I think it makes everything else way easier. I don't know if that makes sense, but wait.
Both Clark Boston and Mitchell are all-star players, and together they are now regarded as the Fever's Big Three, a core that combines Mitchell's devastating scoring ability, Boston's powerful post presence, and Clark's skill at creating plays. Think again if you believe that this roster change is all for show. The country's odds makers have taken note. The Fever are now ranked 4th on DraftKings in terms of odds to win the WNBA Finals at plus 380, only behind enduring favorites like the Minnesota Lynx and New York Liberty Las Vegas Aces. The Aces are tied for second place on FanDuel at plus 350. This is a definite declaration that these are not long shot odds. Caitlin Clark is the force behind the Indiana Fever's progress as a contender.
So all the rookies are in Indiana. They were at the Pacers game, tossing out shirts with the rest of the team. So hot off the presses, the Indiana Fever have dropped a workout video, which has Bree Hall, it has Yvonne Ejim, and it has Michaela Timpson showing off their stuff with Caitlin.
Indiana is where the rookies are. Along with the rest of the squad, they were throwing out shirts during the Pacers game. Right out of the press, the Indiana Fever released a training video featuring Bree Hall. It features Michaela Timpson and Yvonne Ejim flaunting their relationship with Caitlin Clark. Remember the spike in products. Analysts have already predicted that Clark's jersey will be among the league's best-selling items, if not the best-selling item overall. Within her first 2 years, Clark might potentially end up with the second best-selling jersey in WNBA history, according to some projections. That, along with a team that is selling out venues, increasing the price of their home tickets, and attracting large audiences on the road, creates the ideal combination of fan involvement and talent star power. The figures are honest. The Fever finished the previous season with an average of just 20 wins and were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. They currently have one of the strongest rosters, record-breaking ticket sales, and a nationwide fan base that is excited to follow Caitlin Clark everywhere she goes. There is more going on in Indiana than just a reconstruction. There is a revolution going on, and Clark is squarely at its core. There is more to the Indiana Fever's current situation than just basketball. This is a change in culture, a complete takeover.
The next team, as we go through our WNBA preview, is the team that I know many of you are fascinated by. It's the team that I don't know what the odds are in the sports books up there in North Carolina, Mitch, but certainly nationally, the conversation when it comes to the WNBA surrounds the Indiana Fever, the second season of Caitlin Clark in the W, and how this team that's been retooled with a new coach, they've brought in some veteran players. You can make the argument they're in win now mode, combined with that young core that they still have predominantly on rookie contract.
The front desk is aware of it as well. They didn't only create a competitive roster around Caitlin Clark because of this. With one of the most audacious marketing efforts the WNBA has ever seen, they are shouting it from the rooftops. Now, you know. It's more than just a catchphrase. It's a declaration of intent. The Indiana Fever are accepting respect instead of requesting it. It all began when the group unveiled a sleek, potent teaser that stunned the sports community. "We're not here to chase greatness, we're here to claim it," the video stated. This wasn't only a fan-focused promotional video, it was a retort to all of the detractors, rivals, and skeptics who attempted to discount the Fever's explosive ascent. From the previous season, with its sleek imagery and assured delivery, the campaign made a few clear points. Caitlin Clark is spearheading the takeover, and their supporters are unrivaled at the moment. The ad mainly emphasizes how Clark has transformed every game, whether at home or away, into an opportunity for the Indiana Fever to shine. "Our road games sound like home games because our fans don't ask for permission to dominate," was one of the trailer's boldest and most memorable statements. It's not only swagger in that line, it was evident in the previous season. Fans of Caitlin Clark flocked to opposing arenas in record numbers when the Fever on the road, frequently surpassing the home crowd. The influx of fans eager to watch. Clark in person drove other teams to relocate games to bigger arenas, and this trend hasn't stopped. It's worse going into her second year, if anything. The Fever are taking ownership of that phenomenon rather than merely admitting it. The team released new gear as part of the promotion, and it's already flying off the shelves. One particularly striking piece was a black tour-style t-shirt with the words "Every game is a home game" clearly stamped on it.
You go to the team store, the Indiana Fever's team store, you will see that they have a brand new t-shirt that they are selling. And that t-shirt says, "Every game is a home game." And then on the back, it says, "Now you know," with a sold out banner with all of their basically schedule. It's like a tour t-shirt and it says every game is a home game. They are leaning in to what we have known since last season. We knew that this was the Indiana Fever. We knew that they were breaking barriers. We knew that they were breaking records. We knew that they were selling out. We knew that they were causing other teams to move their games to other arenas. Now they're standing on it.
The Fever's complete season itinerary is displayed on the front and back in a concert tour-like fashion, a subdued yet poignant reminder that Clark is making every court she enters her stage. Additionally, the campaign's catchphrase, "Now you." "No" is emblazoned across the design. Even the trailer's graphics are calculating and aggressive. A wall of Fever fans stands behind Clark as she sits in a movie theater in one particularly striking image. One of the fan shirts on the front and says, "They not like us." A statement brimming with assurance and disposition. An overt warning to competitors that the Fever are unmatched in terms of energy, talent, and devoted fan base. However, it goes beyond simply showing off to competitors. The league as a whole benefits from the "now you know" effort. Both the Indiana Fever supporters and their rivals become fervent when they speak loudly. Every game against the Fever immediately feels like a marquee rivalry game full of pride, excitement, and anticipation, which means higher attendance, spiking TV ratings, louder arenas, and a spotlight that shines not just on Indiana, but on every opponent who shares the floor with them. Fans of teams like the New York Liberty and Las Vegas Aces aren't just watching, they're getting ready to react. Additionally, the WNBA is fully aware of what they have in Caitlin Clark and the Fever. For this reason, the league has scheduled an astounding 41 of Indiana's 44 games to air nationally this season.
The Indiana Fever being that premier team, being the team that has 41 out of 44 games nationally televised, being that team that everyone wants to see, they have to make sure that they're setting them up for a great product.
Let that sink in. Almost 93% of their matches will air on national television. In comparison to previous season, when the Fever faced one of the most difficult schedules in WNBA history, that represents more national exposure than any other team in the league.
Last year in 2024, the Fever had 11 games in 20 games. 11 games in 20 days, 5 home, 6 away, and 2 back-to-backs. And in 2025, they have 11 games in 32 days, 7 home, 4 away, and 0 back.
Cramming 11 games with difficult trip segments into 20 days. This year is different. The Indiana schedule is designed to be successful. 32 days with 11 games, more early home games, and no back-to-backs. It's not merely a scheduling error. The league is acknowledging that Clark and the Fever are the main attraction, and this coincides with the WNBA's own transition to a more savvy and self-assured marketing approach. The days of minimizing up-and-coming talent or skirting rivalries are long gone. The faces that made a difference were highlighted in the WNBA's most recent league-wide promotional video. Caitlin Clark, Angel Wilson, Paige Buchers, Asia Ianu, Sabrina, and others. Caitlin Clark is at the forefront of the league's unreserved reliance on star power. However, the Indiana Fever are leading the way even while the WNBA gains from it. Their new catchphrase is unambiguous. Right now, we're not here. For the takeover, we're here. Additionally, every crowded away game, every sold-out arena, and every ticket price explosion are evidence that the takeover has already started.
Journey goes for CC, right? Because I think many of us, look, she's 1 year in, but many of us believe when it's all said and done, she will be the one that's considered the GOAT.
Caitlin Clark does more than simply revise records. In just her second year, she has completely changed the landscape of professional women's basketball by converting road arenas into home court advantages, preseason games into sellouts and ticket prices into upscale goods. And this isn't a fleeting moment because of the Indiana Fever's loaded roster and audacious new mentality. The new era is upon us. You're experiencing something we've never seen before, so fasten your seatbelts because this trip is just getting started, regardless of whether you're watching for the highlights, the rivalries, or the sheer sight of history unfolding in real time. Additionally, if you're a fan of Caitlin Clark and would like to encourage her, leave a note in the comments section.